Hello, how are you doing this evening? I hope that you are okay. So today we are going through this past paper question, which is a question on specialized cells. So it says on question 1, figure 1.1 and 1.2 show specialized cells E and F. So the first question on A says identify the cell labeled F in figure 1.2. So this cell that is labeled as F. All right. So we understand from everything that we have to say this cell is known as a phagocyte cell. This phagocyte cell, its work is so simple. It is the one that is responsible for engulfing and digesting any germs or bacteria in the body. So remember, we said white blood cells are responsible for defending the body against foreign invaders. It could be germs, it could be bacteria, whatever that it is. So this phagocyte cell is the one that is responsible for engulfing. And then this other cell is known as a ciliated cell. As we can see on the top here, it has the presence of the cilia. Okay, the function of this cilia is to sweep out the mucus containing dust particles. So this ciliated cell is responsible for sweeping out mucus containing dust particles. And its location in the body, it is found in the nasal cavity of the respiratory tract. Okay, and its job is simple: to sweep out the mucus containing dust particles. That's the function of this one. And then it's also found in the female oviduct, and it helps to move the egg towards the uterus. All right. Now, let's check out the follow-up question. So this question on A says identify the cell labeled F. We said it's a phagocyte cell. And then which feature in the diagram enables you to identify cell F in A1 above? So what helped us to identify that this is a phagocyte cell? As we can see, number one, it has the presence of a lobed nucleus. Apart from a lobed nucleus, we are also able to see this thing which is looking like a worm. So that is a germ that this cell is engulfing. All right, that is the feature that helped us. So you can either pick the germ that is being engulfed or the lobed nucleus that you can see here. Moving on, B says figure 1.1 show a group of similar cells. What term is used to refer to such a group of cells? So a group of similar cells is known as a tissue. Now remember, a group of similar cells make up a tissue. A group of tissues make up an organ. A group of organ make up a system. A group of organ system makes up an organism, right? Now, moving on to B2, it says suggest a region in the human body where figure 1.1 is found. So they want us to identify where this figure 1.1 is found. Now remember we said this ciliated cell is found in the respiratory tract. Apart from the respiratory tract, we also said it's found in the oviduct in females. All right. So moving on, the question on B3 says give one function of the part labeled G in figure 1.1. So they want us to identify this part labeled G. Now this part labeled G is known as the cilia. What's the function of the cilia? To sweep out mucus containing dust particles. Now, good, we move on. C says state two specialized cells that are found in plants. Now we know to say in plants we have a lot of specialized cells, and some of those specialized cells that we have is the root hair cell. Now apart from the root hair cell, we also have the xylem cells. Apart from the xylem cells, we also have the guard cells. Apart from the guard cells, we also have the phloem cells. Now there are a lot of specialized cells. So for now, we just state they just need two. So we say the xylem cell. On part two, we say the phloem cell. And then for one named specialized cell in C1 above, explain its function. So I'll move with the root hair cell that I had mentioned. So the function of the root hair cell is the root hair cell helps in the absorption of water and mineral salts from the ground. Okay, the absorption of water and mineral salts, that's the function of the root hair cell. So this is where we end our question on specialized cells. If you have any questions and you are behind at any part, please feel free to reach out so that we can be moving at the same pace. So have a good evening and bye bye.